What's going on, Crimson Tide fans? Chris Daughtry here with the Alabama Football Report by Chat Sports. We have been powering through these position group breakdown videos over the last couple days while I've been out on vacation. I pre-filmed every single one of those videos last week. So if you guys have enjoyed these position group breakdowns, make sure you help me out, like today's video for me right now. All right, coming up on today's show, we are breaking down what arguably might be the best position group on Alabama's team this year. It's definitely my favorite position group that we have talked about so far. I am super excited about this secondary for Alabama going into next season. Definitely could be one of the best secondaries in the entire country in all of college football. We're going to break down the corners. We're going to break down the safeties. And we're also going to talk a little bit about that Husky position as well. But just a general overview right here. I mean, just looking at the guys that you have coming back, man, dogs all across the board. Domani Jackson, Bray Hubbard, Keon Sabb, Zabien Brown, Dijon Lee, Cam Calhoun, Zay Mincey, Ivan Taylor, Chuck McDonald. We haven't even seen him yet. He hasn't even been on campus yet. For Alabama, didn't get on campus until the summertime. This position group as a whole might be the best position group on Alabama's roster this year. And PFF, we've been bringing up these things. I'm not going to waste your time in reading, their quote on them today. But just looking at the rankings right here, the number 2 defensive back group in the country, I got no complaints about that. I definitely think they're going to be one of the better groups in the country because, quite frankly, they're just loaded with talent coming out of high school. You look at these cornerback ratings. These are the 247 Sports composite rankings here. You have Domani Jackson out of Modern Day. He was a 5-star, number 5 player overall coming out of high school. Zabien Brown, also out of Modern Day as well, 5-star, number 30 player coming out of high school. Cam Calhoun, a little bit more underrated, from a how good he was at Utah perspective. I'll just put it at that. We'll talk about him a little bit later on as well. Dijon Lee, man, that kid is so long. And, no diddy on that either. This kid he is a PBU machine, and I cannot wait to see him get on the field, whether that's this year for Alabama or next year. I think this coming year, you're going to see a lot of Dijon Lee and Cam Calhoun some way, somehow. Chuck McDonald as well. He's a 4-star, top 100 guy. But, man, if you've seen any of his recent photos on social media, this kid is absolutely shredded. And I think, you're probably going to say, how is he underrated being a top 100 player, borderline top 50? I still think he's a little bit underrated there. And then Red Morgan, man, we saw him play last year at that Husky position. And I thought he also did a really, really good job in the playing time that he got. Obviously, Alabama's going to have to replace, Devontae Smith at that Husky position. But I do think you have the talent in this DB room to be one of the best in the country. So I want to hear from you guys down at the pinned comment of today's video. We just showed you Pro Football Focus's rankings on the defensive back rooms. I want to hear from you guys. Rank Alabama's DB room as a whole, the cornerbacks, the safeties, the Husky position as well. Let me know what you guys think. Are they top 10? Are they top 5? Are they top 3? Are they the best DB group in the country? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section at the pinned comment of today's show. All right, let's just start off here with your starting cornerbacks, Domani Jackson and Zabien Brown. I thought last year these guys played absolutely out of their mind. I genuinely don't know how Domani Jackson didn't get more NFL draft buzz last year. Obviously, Zabien Brown was a true freshman, couldn't do that. But when you look at how both of these guys played, I mean, my God, you couldn't really ask for more. Domani Jackson had 374 coverage snaps. Zabien Brown, 356 coverage snaps. And man, when both of your guys, Domani Jackson only allowing 54% of passes being completed on 50 total targets, Zabien Brown, 45% completion percentage against him on 40 targets. That is absolutely insane. He also, as a freshman, had 3 interceptions last year, pretty much had the game-sealing interception in that Georgia game. Domani Jackson had the game-winning interception against South Carolina as well. So when you're talking about, your starters at that cornerback position, man, you're in really, really good shape there. And, God forbid somebody goes down. But if they do, I think you have some fantastic options in the secondary as well at that cornerback spot. Cam Calhoun, man, last year playing at Utah, we heard, Kane Wommack talk about the Utah defense a little bit when talking about Cam Calhoun. And he was like, man, you really do have to be a dog to get on the field on the defensive side of the ball when you're playing for Utah. Last year, Cam Calhoun was really, really good. 9 PBUs last year for Cam Calhoun. If I'm not mistaken, let me just kind of look back real quick. Yeah, that's more than Domani Jackson and Zabien Brown had combined last year. So, I think he's probably going to be your, third defensive back that comes on the field. Maybe it's Dijon Lee. We're just going to have to see. It just depends on the competition at practice if it's going to be Cam Calhoun or Dijon Lee. But either one is going to be a really good option for Alabama. But I do want to, if I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit here, I want to ask, what is the biggest question mark right now in Alabama's secondary? And I do think it's going to end up being that Husky position. And that's not to say I don't have confidence in DaShawn Jones. I thought he played pretty decent last year when he got that playing time. But if I'm being completely honest, definitely would be more confident in that spot if you had Devontae Smith. Unfortunately, he's at Notre Dame now. And I think that one was a little bit of a shock to probably more of the fan base than the coaching staff. But, DaShawn Jones, he got beat, really one good time last year. So I think just going into another season, I think DaShawn Jones, he's a little bit banged up last year as well. So we'll just see how consistent he ends up playing this year because I think at that Husky position, I understand Red Morgan has been playing more at that cornerback spot during the springtime, but, he played Husky pretty much all last year, kind of on and off. So I think it's going to be between Red Morgan, we'll talk about Kirkpatrick a little bit later as well. Then DaShawn Jones is probably going to be your starter, at least to start the season at that Husky spot. We'll continue on here with the safeties here in just a second, but you guys can get this Kalen DeBoer is what I'm calling it. It's an Alabama football hat, but I'm calling it the Kalen DeBoer hat because it's the same hat that he wears on the sidelines on game day. It is on sale right now for $8. It was on sale, or it was originally priced $25, now on sale for $8. It's that dry fit, performance fit type of material. So definitely keeps your head cool during the summertime. I've got this hat, so I can vouch for it. I absolutely love it. I wear it all the time except for here at work. So you guys can get it just by going to chatsports.com/DeBoer hat. That link will be down in the comment section and the description of today's video. All right, let's talk about the safety position a little bit as well. Keon Sabb and Bray Hubbard, I think that's a real opportunity to be the best safety duo in the country. We talked about both of these guys to an extent on a previous video. I think just the combination, the coverage that Keon Sabb can bring to the table, and then I think the coverage and run-stopping ability that Bray Hubbard is going to bring to the table for you, man. That kid loves to hit people, and that's one of the things that I'm most excited about him just being able to come downfield and put a helmet on a helmet and help out in the run game. He's kind of like a hybrid linebacker to an extent a little bit, just the way he helps in those run fits. But this safety position is going to be solid for Alabama this season as well. And we talked about it on a previous video just a couple of days ago. ESPN dropped their #1 sleeper going into the 2025 college football season for each team. And I guess spoiler alert, it's one of those safety guys, but you guys can go watch that video and subscribe right here to the Alabama Football Report. We'll continue to have videos for you guys all off season long. Then when the season starts, we will have more videos, and then we will go live for every single Alabama football game, have our watch parties, do giveaways, do a whole lot of fun stuff. So make sure you guys do not miss out. Hit that sub button for me right now. All right, this is what Kane Wommack said about Zay Mincey, because really he's going to be that third safety in line for Alabama. I would guess anyways going into next season. He said, here's a dude that's 6'2", he's over 200 pounds now. He has great coverage skills because he played at the corner position his whole career. Now he's moving to the safety position. He has the physicality. He has the ability to diagnose, which certainly the safety position makes a lot more checks and communications in all of those things. And when you look at the next two guys at safety, Zay Mincey and Ivan Taylor, both guys top 100 players. Zay Mincey a couple of years ago in that 2024 class was a 5-star. Ivan Taylor's another guy that you got late in the recruiting process last year. He flipped from Michigan in November, so just a couple of weeks before that early signing day there. And I know a lot of people are extremely excited about them. And when you just look all across the board, not just at these guys, but pretty much everybody in this defensive backfield, length is a big, big thing for them. It's something that Kane Wommack, I think, it's fun with this new coaching staff. You can really see, kind of the differences in what players they're actually going after and the body types that they're going after. Kind of a little bit different than, how Nick Saban wanted to be able to utilize guys. But man, if Domani, or man, I can't even talk right now. If one of your two starting safety there, Keon Sabb and Bray Hubbard, if either one of those goes down, I got a whole lot of confidence in Zay Mincey, and we'll see what happens with Ivan Taylor as well. And then our last guy here is Kirkpatrick. Everybody loves a legacy, right? And he's not just a legacy. This kid really can play some football. Played a little bit last year, only 3 tackles, though. I think what he brings to the table that really excites me the most is his love for Alabama. Obviously, we all remember his pops, Kirkpatrick Sr., playing for Nick Saban back in the day, winning national championships as well. So, just the love that this kid brings to Alabama, and he's a really phenomenal player as well. So not really sure. I think he's really the most versatile player in this defensive backfield. I think, he could probably play the Husky position. I think he could probably play the safety position as well. You usually want guys a little bit taller at that safety spot, but I think they can move him at corner. I think they can play him at Husky. I think they could play him at a lot of different positions, and it's just going to be kind of how does Kane Wommack want to be able to utilize this guy? Is it going to be this year, or does he have to still, just continue to get better and better and better, end up playing a little bit more next year or the year after that as well? So really, really excited about Kirkpatrick, and I'm really, really excited about Alabama's defensive back room as a whole.